Hi guys, I wanted to do this video more on a face-to-face um, format, and that's because it's a little bit of a sensitive topic. And over the years since I started teaching this course or a form of this course, especially in recent years, there's one question that I've been getting more and more often. And the holidays are coming up, and you might have the same question too, and may not want to ask or aren't ready yet to admit that there might be this problem. And the question that I get often now is, and let me rewind just a little bit. The question is asked not just by students, but faculty, my friends, um, my family who have friends that are they're experiencing this problem with. Um, and especially around the holidays when it's really supposed to be a happy time. Um, in recent years, it's becoming a little bit more stressful, and that's because of conspiracy theories becoming more prevalent. And not just that, um, they're also a little bit more divisive in families, friendships, um, and the beliefs in these conspiracy theories are so profound that it has literally destroyed families and friends. And often they don't know what to do. And knowing that I teach about information literacy, misinformation, disinformation, I study conspiracy theories. I started getting asked this within the last 5 years more and more on what they can do with how to improve a family or friendship that the other person is really deeply embedded into a conspiracy theory. So much so that they don't, the not just the person asking me the question, the family member or friend doesn't want to be with the person in any form of relationship because they just don't understand. They're not part of the in the know crowd, and it's become an us and them. And since um, they've become an them, their family member or friend almost doesn't want anything to do with them. And what's so hard about conspiracy theories, and when the conspiracy theory is almost cult like, um, intuitively you want to bombard them with facts and show them how they're wrong and they're crazy, and um, the people that they're believing in are misinformed and are, um, just are saying these things not to benefit humanity or Americans or whoever it might be, but there's a definitely an agenda there to sell things, to create division, to gain something politically or economically. And um, it's heartbreaking. And some of you might be experiencing that with a friend or a loved one, or know um, a friend of a friend or family friend. And I thought I'd offer up this bit of advice, uh, I guess voluntarily. So if you have a friend or a family member or know somebody that you're concerned about that is in so deep into a conspiracy theory that it's almost like a cult following, um, intuitively, I know you want to bombard. I'm the same way. I want to present facts and logical reasoning. And the thing is that that doesn't work as intuitive. And I know that's kind of a heartbreaking answer to hear, um, but I do have a follow up with it. So bear with me. Um, if somebody is in a conspiracy theory that's has a cult like following, logic and reasoning does not work at all. In fact, might just make you angrier, more frustrated, and it might drive the other person away. And if there's any hope of saving that relationship, um, bombarding them, yelling at them, making them feel like they're crazy, that they're stupid for believing this garbage, um, that's just going to make things worse. And I know that firsthand. Um, and intuitively, you would think that if you show somebody facts and irrefutable evidence, that that should work. Um, but it doesn't, unfortunately. Um, and I'm only going to go so far with my next piece of advice, um, because it almost it goes into psychology, and I'm not a psychologist, and I study conspiracy theories and disinformation, um, but not on this level. And I'm not a psychological expert, but I do know enough that I can start you out on how to get more information from a trained professional should you need it. Um, Logic and reasoning does not work for these types of situations, like I said. And when somebody is in a cult, like conspiracy theory, you have to treat it like it's a cult, and it's almost like cult deprogramming. That might sound absurd, and it sounds absurd. It sounds absurd to me, even though I know the reality of it. Um, so, really, the best piece of advice I can give anybody who's experiencing this kind of heartbreak um, is to really just keep a channel open with that family member or friend, or if you're passing this information along to somebody else, leave a channel open for them. Be supportive. Um, Maybe not enabling the misinformation, but see if you can get to a level where you can agree to just talk about anything else but that topic. Um, the holidays are coming up, and a lot of people love seeing family on holidays, and sometimes holidays are um, you know not as joyful as you'd want them to be. um, but see if you can establish boundaries, that if we're all going to get together, let's have a good time, be with each other, um, you know talk about benign things, talk about interests other than the really divisive conspiracy theory or cult belief that they may be experiencing. Um, and sometimes that's possible. But the reason why you want to keep that channel open is because there may likely and very likely come a point where they realize that everything they've believed for the last months, sometimes even years, is wrong. It's been a lie. And that's soul crushing. It can be soul crushing. And especially soul crushing when you realize you've driven everybody away from you. And a lot of people don't get out of that conspiratorial mindset thinking because they don't think they can, because they don't have anybody who will help them or will help them get away from certain people or a situation or um, a mindset. So they just keeping their distance away because they feel there's no way out. There's no way to get back to a healthy mindset. So by leaving a channel open, even if it's just a small one, a text message or phone call or whatever, however small it can be, that small little opening can really mean a lot for when that person is ready to, um, you know, come out of that conspiratorial mindset. Um, it can be hard. It can be very difficult to do that because sometimes you just want to yell and scream and why are you like this? And that's really the least productive thing you can do, and it's hard. And I know, trust me, I know. I'm a librarian who specializes in fact checking. It's difficult, but it's very counterproductive to do that. So first, leave that channel open. somehow. Let them know that if they can't, if they've made it clear they don't want to be around you, or they can't be with them because you're not us, let them know that you're always there for them, or when they're ready to call you, text you, come over, and that you'll help them, or find them the resources that can help them. And that really can mean the world. And if you research a little bit on even YouTube, there's a lot of former FBI agents who are cult deprogrammers, and they'll say the same thing. Always find a way to leave a channel open so that they can come get out so that they know they have somebody in that support, and that will support them when they're ready to get out of that mindset. If the relationship isn't as strained as you can't spend time with them, or they won't talk to you, or if you can still have the relationship where you can talk and maintain somewhat of a face-to-face friendship and whatnot, ask them questions, not condescendingly, and they might get defensive, thinking that you're trying to mock them, to present them with some information that they are wrong and you are right. Because remember, you're the them and they're the us, and they want to keep the us intact, because that's their core belief system at the moment. So ask them at least genuine sounding questions. Try from the approach of, I've been trying to see things your way and how you were thinking in that conspiracy theory. And I don't understand. Can you answer some questions for me? And then ask questions about it, about the connections. Say, I know that there's something wrong with this government agency, but I don't understand the connection between X and Y. And you might be thinking, well, isn't that just enabling the person? The idea is that they might come to their own conclusions, that they're in a conspiracy theory that is cult-like. And when they start answering your questions, they might be answering their own and start noticing connections of how things aren't adding up, or what's the plausibility of why would there's no benefit, looking at the flat earth theory, there's no benefit to keep that a secret and prevent people from knowing about the ice wall, and how much money and effort it would take to keep that many people who are in on it paid off and keep the lie going. So when you ask those questions and they are the other person is perceiving them as genuine, non-threatening, it can really open up their minds into realizing that something might be amiss, and the conspiracy theory that they're really in depth in is they're starting to see the light on it. I'm being very vague on examples. I don't want to use inflammatory language. I don't want to. I want to be helpful without being, I guess, dismissive, or so some of you might have caught on maybe to particularly one conspiracy theory that is very cult-like. Um, it's very destructive to families. It's destroyed families, actually. Um, and it's heartbreaking, really. Um, but there isn't a whole lot that you can do, unfortunately, except be there for them or let them know that you're there for them whenever they're ready to come out of it. Um, or, ask them questions if you can. And it might be difficult to hear the answers because you might want to say, are you crazy? Like, how do you believe that? How do you believe in the ice wall? Um, but at the same time, remember, keep the eye on the prize of what the goal of that questioning is. I've heard from other people who have had family members. They've gotten their family members out of some of these conspiracy theories that are very cult-like, and they got them to commit to listening to a different news source for 20 minutes when she had to drive her mother to a doctor's appointment. And while they were in the car, she got her mother to commit to listening to other information sources on the drive to and from the doctor. And slowly over time, she started realizing for herself that things weren't making sense. And, you know, she was open to realizing that and looking deeper into other information sources and seeing the conspiratorial thinking for what it actually is. So, one other thing that might be helpful is contacting a psychologist who specializes in um, ideally cult deprogramming, but really any psychologist will have at least a basic foundation on how they might be able to help you help them get out of this, and with more specific, maybe a real actionable plan. Like I said, I don't want to step into a field that's outside of my expertise, but I can tell you the the general solutions that um, I've come across in my own professional career, dealing with misinformation and disinformation and conspiracy theories. So I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, that feel free. If this video resonates a little bit and you have more specific questions, my door email is always open. I know there's hope there's hope. It may take a little bit of time. It may take a little bit of work, but it is possible to get your loved one or friend you care about, or help a friend help their family member or friend get out of some of these really destructive conspiracy theory slash cult-like groups. And remember, when you're at Thanksgiving or Christmas, try to keep the conversation off of politics, religion, the economy. Try to agree to talk about it the next day. It's the holidays. You haven't seen each other in a while, maybe. And, use the day to just be with one another and not argue about which political party has it right or wrong or whatever. Because it really can ruin Thanksgiving. So I'll also have a infographic in the module that has more tips from the News Literacy Project on how you can, fact check your friends and family without causing a showdown. I think that's pretty much the title. I have the same. I often have the same concerns. Because even though I'm an information professional, obscure information I can find fairly quickly. it's a weird time these days, and I don't always get believed myself. So, and nor do I want to cause some blow up argument over, you know, um, trying to prevent misinformation from spreading. So, anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the discussion forum. Okay, have a great day.